Hello again, friends. It's the Cranky Yankee here. Sorry I'm driving, but I just got a little notification on my phone. The Calgary Flames have officially fired Bill Peters as their coach. We all knew this was going to happen. We all knew this was coming. And this is going to be a quick video, but I just wanted to say, and something I just literally just said to myself before I started this video, was that, so the narrative in the sports and NHL specifically is that you can and will be held accountable for everything that you say and do, regardless of how long ago it was. Now, I'm not going to share whether I think that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's good that Bill Peters got fired, because I'm pretty sure that he probably has been continuing to do stuff like this all along. Matter of fact, the fact that the owner at the time of the Carolina Hurricanes had come out and said that I wasn't informed of this, and if I had been, he would have been fired. He would have been done very quickly. And good for him. He is, as the owner of a team, I would have done the same thing, and I commend him for saying that. I mean, it's unfortunate that they kept it under wraps, but I know that PK Subban has said things that it happens it's happened all across the board. If you are a person of color playing professional sports, specifically hockey, that at some point in your career, whether it be down in juniors, midgets, pee-wees, whatever you want, of course I know they're changing the name, but that's not going to be called midgets and pee-wees and squirts anymore. But you know, if you at any level, at some point, you probably most likely will come to some form of hate and racism. You will come in contact with that. You will come in contact with an individual who says things like that about you, treats you like that or some way. It's one of those things that it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate reality. But I think starting to do things like this, like holding people accountable like Bill Peters for what they've done, and same thing with Mike Babcock, not that he had racial slurs, but he still could be, what he did could be considered abuse and harassment in some way, shape, or form. That you will be held accountable for what you do and what you say. And it's the same thing with, I remember seeing there was a lot of college football players, high school football players a while ago. People were talking about things that they did and said when they were in their teens. And the thing about it is like, yeah, they were kids, but I don't think that is an excuse for them to talk that way. You know, if you're a teenager and you say racial slurs and stuff, like, yeah, we've all, let me get it good, there we go. No, that's fine. I'm parked now. But yeah, you know, it doesn't matter what your age is. You should know better. I mean, kids, little children, like toddlers, my son's age, 5, 6, 7 years old, they know better than to talk like that. They don't talk like that. You know why? Because racism is taught. It is not something that is ingrained. And when they're that young, they haven't been brainwashed yet. They haven't been alive long enough to be brainwashed into believing that. Because I know that this is a really funny story that I'll share. My stepmother is a kindergarten teacher back home in Vermont, and this was probably 10 or 15 years ago or so that she was telling me this story, and I laughed. I laughed so hard when I heard this. It was the cutest thing. Because kids are just honest. And one of her little girls in her class was mulatto. She was a mixed race. Her dad was black and her mom was white. And her dad came to pick her up at school one day. And my stepmom's class happens to have a window that's right outside, so it's, you know, so you can actually come right into the door. There's a door that leads outside. You come right up to the classroom to come pick up your kids. And there was a guy that was at the door, and he was knocking, and he was waving at her, and one of the kids saw him and goes over to the little girl and says, "Hey," I forget the little girl's name. She goes, "Hey, does your dad have a brown face?" And she was like, "Yeah, my dad does have a brown face." She goes, "Oh, I think he's here to pick you up." And it was just the cutest thing, because they're just like, "Does your dad have a brown face?" And it's not like she was saying anything wrong. It was just that he was black. He was brown. He had a brown face. And I just thought it was the cutest thing. And, you know, and that's how kids look at it at that age. They don't look at it as he's different. They say, "Oh, he has a brown face, whatever. His face is brown. My face is white. His face is brown. It's just the way it is." And it's just that casual whatever. It's just reality, and they don't have a problem with that. So, do I think people should be held accountable for everything that they say and do? Yes. Now, should I be held accountable for things that I've said maybe 10 or 15 years ago? I don't believe I've said anything that bad in the past, but if I did, should I be held accountable for it? Absolutely. Should I lose my job over it? I hope I wouldn't, but I would not be upset if I did, because I have a right to. But the thing about this is I was thinking about this whole thing and I was explaining it is this is these people's job, okay? Yes, they're athletes. Yes, they play a sport, but it's still their job. Their job is to go out and play a sport, to score goals, to play defense, to go out in front of that crowd every night, every other night, and do the best that they can be. That's their job. If what Bill Peters did happened in my place of business and any work that I've had, whether it be at Publix or the pool store that I work at or, you know, at a Domino's or anything. And I've experienced this at Domino's. I actually got fired at Domino's because the boss's wife, the store manager's wife, worked there, and she used the N-word towards a mulatto boy that worked with us, because he would come in and he would work off the clock because he didn't like to be at home. He didn't have the best home life, and he would rather be at work than be at home, which is fine. And she said, stop being everyone's N-word. And it really offended me. He wasn't offended by it, and he should have been, but he thought it was funny, and I'm like, that's not funny. It's not okay for her to use that language in the workplace. And I called her out on it, and this is a very bad example, but this is an example of basically similar to what the Carolina management did, in that I went straight to the owner. And the owner was buddy-buddy with them, and I went to grab my phone to show the text messages that she had said, because she had also said some pretty rude things to me over a text message because I threw out her lipstick, and told me that I owed her $20 for the lipstick that I threw out because it was in the company car. And I was told at the end of the day, when I'm done with the company car, you clean it out. Anything that's in there that's not yours, that doesn't belong in there, you throw it out, period. And she was like, well, how would you feel if I threw out a pair of your sunglasses? And I would have been like, well, I guess I shouldn't have left them in the car then, shouldn't I? And she didn't like that answer, because I understand the rules. And I understand that if I had left something of mine in the car and it got thrown out, that's my fault. Not the person who threw them out. It's my fault. I shouldn't have left it in there. She shouldn't have left her lipstick in there. And I wasn't trying to be facetious or anything. I was just told, hey, make sure this car's clean before you leave tonight or there's going to be issues. And I didn't want to get in trouble, so I just cleaned it out. I didn't even know whose lipstick it was. There was other girls who drove the car. It could have been anybody's. I just like, well, it sucks, but hey, they shouldn't have left it in there, and I chucked it. And that was on top of the racial slurs that she would use. And when I went to go grab my phone to show the owner the text message, she had actually taken my phone out of my personal car. Not the company car, my personal car, because I was dumb enough to leave it unlocked because I was running in and going to run right back out on a run. She took it out of my car and hid it so that I couldn't find it. I didn't know where my phone was. I couldn't find it at all for about 20 minutes. And once he left, she put it back in my car, and it was in a place that I didn't leave it. Very strange. But I can tell you this, that if Bill Peters had made those comments in any other place of business, he would have been fired on the spot. There's no tolerance for that in most places. But he's done. He's no longer the coach. Let's hope he doesn't get another job in the league. Me and many other people that I've followed on Twitter, we all feel that he has no business at all coaching. He has no business coaching in the sport. He has no business treating people that way. But that's it for me, guys. I'm the Crane King. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the firing of Bill Peters. Do you think that that's what should have happened? Did you think, you know, it was something we all were expecting? It was about a matter of time that, you know. And the one thing I do want to say is I want to applaud Brad Treliving. He handled this with grace and professionalism. He did not jump to conclusions, which is good. He shouldn't. He shouldn't just immediately fire and say, oh, well, they said this, all right, you're fired. No, he did an investigation. They did everything that they needed to do to make sure that these allegations were correct and truthful, and then they handled it in the only way that they could, by terminating his contract. And I think that I really want to commend and applaud the Calgary Flames organization and their upper management with their handling of the situation. I think they handled it properly, and they handled it with grace and professionalism. They didn't jump to conclusions, and I think that Brad Treliving is a very good GM, and he's gained a lot of respect from him. I didn't know a lot about him before. I don't follow the Flames. I'm not a big Calgary fan, but I do want to say that I think that he's a very good GM, and I want to commend him in the way he's handled this situation. I think he handled it as best as he could. It was a very unsightly situation. It was an unfortunate situation, and it's a situation that no GM should have to deal with. But given the situation, I think that he did the best that he could, and I really want to applaud him. And I want to say, Brad Treliving, you did a good job. You're a good GM, and I think that you handled this properly. I think that you handled this in the appropriate manner, not jumping to conclusions, hearing all sides of the story before making a decision. And the decision has been made, and I think it's the right one. But I'm the Cranky Yankee. Let me guys know what you think about this situation, and let me know in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you happen to come across this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Love y'all. Have a great day. Also, by the way, happy Thanksgiving to y'all. I hope you guys ate some good turkey and some good stuff yesterday. For those of you that don't celebrate Thanksgiving, and I hope you had an enjoyable weekend. I hope your weekend's good. It's Friday right now. I have today off. I had yesterday off as well. Also, the Be A Pro should be coming out today or tomorrow. I have the day off, so I do have to get my car in to get fixed at some point today, but I plan on doing it tonight. So hopefully that first episode, the first episode of the Subscriber Be A Pro will be out in the near future. I'm planning on doing it today. I'm hoping that's what's going to be happen, but we'll see what happens. Also, I would have had it out sooner, but because I had PlayStation Plus, I randomly got Last of Us, and I've been kind of obsessed with The Last of Us for the last 2 days. It's a really fucking good game. If you guys have not played Last of Us, try it. It's awesome. It's super freaky and scary and awesome, and I really like it. Grabs you right by the heartstrings right from the first 10-15 minutes of the game. I was crying. This game made me cry. Never have I had a game made me cry. But anyways, that's off topic. We'll see you guys in the next one. I'm the Cranky Yankee, and I love y'all. Have a great day.